I'm Ryan O'Dowd, and this is the Black Hand Communique. Today's episode is something maybe a little less ranty and a little more educational. I'm going to try to be unpretentious about this in the way that I explain it. But it's something that I find to be cool and relevant to the anarchist or libertarian general community. It's probably something you already know about, but I think it's going to have a profound impact on the future of activism in the United States of America and the world. I might not be saying something very profound by that, but here goes nothing. TOR, or the Darknet, or the underground internet, or the counter internet, or the counternet, or whatever you want to call it. It's a very interesting, somewhat new system of exchanging information online. And there are several different parts to the dark web, but the general milieu of the entire thing is that you're anonymous when you're on it, or you're as close to anonymous as is possible. There's always ways to make yourself more anonymous, but despite the fact, you're as anonymous as you can be. And it's very interesting for revolutionaries or aspiring revolutionaries, as well as for aspiring criminals or where the two meet, insurrectionists, because it has the potential to allow you to exchange information without the NSA and the government being able to figure out what you're doing. And I could probably get put on a list, just for discussing it in any kind of length. But I really like it. I like the idea of a not only free speech, but an anonymous speech. A speech where you can say anything that you want, and you don't have to reveal who you are. You can give advice on anything. You could educate people about anything. Any bit of information that the government or religious authorities or corporations wouldn't want you to have, you can have access to without needing to reveal yourself. And I think it's obvious that there's a multitude of ways that this could be useful. Now, the most obvious network, it's kind of a browser, is called TOR, T-O-R. You can type it in Google and download it and install it on your computer if you want to do it. And it does a very good job of making you anonymous. It will not make you so anonymous the NSA cannot find out who you are if they're investigating you, but it will lead you on your path towards total anonymity online. And it's just excellent. Without being overt about it, there are lots of skills and tricks and ideological utilities, we'll say, that you could learn by using these networks. And you could use them to provide a counterbalance to the prevailing economy. You can buy and sell on these networks using Bitcoin, or if you're daring a credit card or PayPal, you could find people to help you make your credit card anonymous. You could find ways to use other credit cards. I am neither recommending or not recommending any of these specific activities, but I'm just trying to make my listeners, my viewers, aware of the fact that these things are available. If you're someone that's interested in the cause of freedom and human liberty, and just generally wants to live a black life, as in the black market or the counter market. If you just want to live a counter life, you're to quote Bradley Noel from Sublime, if I'm going to live, I'm going to live illegal. if you want to be free and inconsistent with the dominant paradigm, then this is going to help you. So I suggest you look into TOR, which can be Googled, and I believe, I'll look it up for you right now. I believe it's just TOR.com. No, it isn't TOR.com. That's apparently a page about science fiction, which is something you might want to check out anyway. But if I go, let's see, I type TOR in Google, it's torproject.org. And on that site, they have all sorts of resources to teach you how to improve your skill at internet anonymity. See, because the problem is, right now, the internet is still basically unregulated. Not even deregulated. Just about, they'll let you do anything. It's just too much information for them to regulate still at the moment. Although DARPA has built a massive facility in the desert in Utah to basically record everything that's on the entire internet. And I'll tell you what. Let me see. Basically record everything that's on the entire internet and cross-reference it so they can look for what they call terrorists. And the thing is, sometimes terrorists are terrorists, and sometimes terrorists are revolutionaries. And sometimes terrorists are just people the government doesn't like and wants to get out of the way. There's lots of stuff out there that's a murky, murky gray when it comes to authoritarian structures like the government. See, because the government, even opposing the government as an entity or as an idea, is liable to put you on a watch list. I mean, just to be realistic. In this day and age, there are so many of us that they probably they rank and consider, someone like me, they don't consider me a big threat because I just talk. I'm a communicado. I'm someone who communicates ideas and describes ideas and gives resources to people, but I'm not someone who is doing any kind of illegal act according to the Constitution in the United States. Whereas there are people that are deeper into, the whole liberty movement and anarchism, who are doing things that the government considers to be illegal, and they would consider them a higher priority and potentially a terrorist. What I'm saying is I'm not paranoid. I'm not going to get drone blasted as I walk down the street or anything like that. But I am aware that they can do that if they want to. So, let's see. DARPA sponsors surveillance technology to predict future behavior. That's on the newamerican.com. And I'll provide, let's see, it's the newamerican.com/text/item. I'll just have to provide the link in the actual thing. But it says the DARPA sponsors surveillance technology to predict future behavior. So they're recording everything that we fucking ever write on Facebook, everything you do, everything you click on, everything you buy, and they're trying to build algorithms that, according to these people that do these sorts of security analyses, or whatever you want to call them, the security state, the New World Order, or whatever the hell. Everyone's got different capitalist statists, whatever. These people are trying to predict our behavior in buying, trying to predict our behavior in revolution, and not only predict it, but learn the patterns in the set of behaviors and actions they can take to disrupt it, or to change it, or to refocus it for their own agenda. And they really are trying to do this, and they're using the internet as their means of doing it. And DARPA, of course, is the Defense Department's. Let's see, what does DARPA stand for? DARPA stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It's all the most cutting edge technology that the Defense Department is putting together. So they're trying to record everybody all the time. If you send texts, that's in a database. If you call, that's in the database. And they're building algorithms to cross-reference every single thing anyone says, and then to see their behavior. If they say this and they go to a Taco Bell, can they find a program in the human mind that someone talks about shoes and then they buy a New York Times and that makes them want to eat a pizza, for instance. And that would be a way to target advertising. But with the Defense Department, what they're, of course, they're looking for is how do I control human behavior? How do I regulate human behavior? How do I stop people from being free in a way that's so subtle that they don't even know that that's what's happening? All right, so that's a severe security issue and privacy issue in the future, as I'm sure you can figure out. Now, that's why we need things like TOR and the Darknet and the counter internet. And there, as once you start exploring, just type those things in. Once you start exploring this, you'll get to the point where you learn to be anonymous for yourself, because there has to be a shield from that constant surveillance, or else we'll be in a matrix, more or less. And a set of words and behaviors and algorithms that's supposed to govern our behavior without our even knowing it's there and noticing it's there. It's supposed to be so subtle, and the only way to get around it is to subvert it, is to fight it overtly, and to try to protect yourself and be as anonymous as possible. So that's why I think that the Darknet is a useful tool for activists, for anarchists, for libertarians. Anyone that's against the centralization of power, anyone that's for human liberty. So, thus concludes my little mini lecture. Fuck DARPA, up with TOR, and as always, this is Ryan O'Dowd of the Black Hand Communique. Fuck the goddamn machine.